Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to explore the fascinating world of options. Whether you're a complete beginner or someone who wants a little refresher, this introduction will walk you through the fundamentals. What options are, why they exist, and how they're used. By the end, you'll understand how options can help manage risk, speculate on market movements, and eventually create strategic positions without requiring immediate full ownership of an underlying asset. So, let's dive in. First, let's define what an option is. An option is a financial contract that gives the owner the right, but not the obligation to buy or sell an underlying asset at a predetermined price, known as the strike price. That right lasts until a specific expiration date. And as an option holder, you're not forced to buy or sell anything. You simply have the choice to do so. These contracts are very powerful because they let traders control shares of an underlying asset without even fully owning them. They can be used to protect existing investments or help traders seek profits from price changes, with of course a lot less money than buying the asset itself. So there are two main types of options, puts and calls. So let's begin with call options. This type of options gives you the right to buy the underlying asset at an agreed upon strike price within a set time frame. Why would someone want this right? Well, if you believe the price of an asset is going to be rising in the future, a call option lets you lock in today's value while giving you the flexibility to back out if things don't go your way. Let's bring in a relatable example to illustrate this concept. Imagine yourself wanting to buy a very special car, a nice limited edition car, and then you see a great one on the market, but you're not entirely sure whether you want to commit. Instead of purchasing the car right away, you pay a small fee, a sort of down payment for the right to buy it at today's price within a specific period of time. If the car's value goes up, you can choose to buy it at the lower previously agreed upon price and benefit from the difference. If the value drops, on the other hand, or you just choose you don't want that car anymore, well, you can just walk away. The worst case scenario is losing the small fee you paid in the first place. In the world of finance, that fee is similar to an option premium you pay when you buy a call option. So on the other hand, we have put options. While a call option grants the right to buy, the put is going to grant the right to sell. If you hold a put option, you can sell the underlying asset at a strike price by the defined expiration date. People often use puts when they think an asset price is going to fall or when they want to protect the position they already own. So imagine this. Now that you already own this special car worth $100,000 and you plan to take it to the racetrack, for example, for just 1 month, you can purchase a 1-month insurance policy for $5,000. If there's no crash, great. You simply lose $5,000 premium you paid. However, if you do crash and the repairs, let's say, cost $60,000, the insurance company will buy the car from you for its original value of $100,000. In that scenario, you've effectively saved $55,000. You lost $5,000 on the insurance premium, but you avoided paying $60,000 in repair. This is similar to how put options work. You pay a premium for the right to sell your asset at a set price, protecting yourself from a bigger loss if things go wrong. When you buy an option, whether it's a call or a put, you're never forced to take action. This is why you can view buying options as a form of financial protection. You'll pay a premium for this potential safety net or a speculative opportunity, but your worst case scenario is only losing that premium. If the market moves in your favor, you can generate large profits. If it moves against you, you can lose more than the premium you paid. But of course, every option buyer needs someone on the other side of that trade. This is where option sellers come in. Selling, also known as writing an option, means you receive a premium upfront, but you also take on an obligation. If the buyer exercises that right, you must follow through. When you sell a call, you might have to deliver the underlying asset. When you sell a put, you might have to buy the underlying asset, both at the strike price, regardless of where the market ends up. Consider the previous examples from the seller's viewpoint, the car dealership and the insurance company. The dealership takes a deposit from the customer who wants the right to buy the car at a certain price. That deposit is like the premium the seller is going to collect. If the customer decides to buy, the dealership must sell at the agreed price, even if the market value has gone higher. The dealership's risk is missing out on the bigger profit if the car's price skyrockets. The insurance provider collects a premium to cover a race car. If no crash occurs, the company keeps the premium. But if there's an accident, well then the insurance company must pay out to buy back the car. Here, the company's risk is having to pay a very large sum, far greater than the collected premium if damages happen. When you sell a call option and already own the underlying asset, it's called a covered call. Think of it like owning the car you plan to sell. If the buyer exercises that option, you must hand over your asset at the strike price. The main risk is missing out on extra profits if price rises above that strike. When you sell a put option, you agree to buy the asset if its price falls below the strike price. This carries its own risk, but is a different scenario than a call. Naked positions happen when you sell an option without owning the asset for a call, or not without enough money on hand for a put. That's like promising to sell a car you don't own, or offering insurance without enough cash to pay the claim. If the market moves against you, losses can be very large, sometimes unlimited. Because of these risks, naked short options are generally for experienced traders or just to avoid at all. Putting it all together, we can compare the benefits and risks of going long, buying options, versus going short and selling options. Buying options, you pay a premium up front. Your biggest loss is that premium if the option expires worthless, but if the market moves your way, you can make a large profit. Selling, or going short, you collect the premium right away. If the option loses value over time and expires worthless, you keep that premium as a profit. However, if the market moves sharply against you, your losses can be very large. Selling often requires margin to ensure you can meet your obligations if the buyer exercises the option. Alright, so let's pause and recap what we've covered. Options are financial contracts offering the right, but not the obligation, to buy or sell an asset at a predetermined strike price before a set expiration date. Call options give you the right to buy, put options give you the right to sell. An options premium is the cost for this flexibility. Buyers have limited risk, the premium, while sellers can earn that premium, but take on the obligation to fulfill the contract. Naked short selling carries particularly high risks, as it involves commitments without owning the underlying asset or sufficient cash on hand. Ultimately, options are tools used for hedging against risk or speculating on future price movements, and the choice between buying or selling should align with your financial goals and risk appetite. Now that you have a solid understanding of the fundamentals, you're ready to explore more advanced strategies. Options can be very powerful instruments for both protecting your portfolio and aiming for higher returns, as long as you use them wisely.